Thousands of new San Diegans become eligible for the COVID vaccine tomorrow. County leaders detail how they're ready for the increase, even as one vaccine is temporarily shelved.
The San Diego city leaders choose a new ambulance provider, why they chose to let a 20-plus year partnership just come to an end.
And the chance encounter in the North County that led to a positively San Diego friendship and a community effort to help an elderly man in need.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
The floodgates are about to open as any Californian 16 or older that wants a COVID-19 vaccine will be eligible to get one starting tomorrow. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. This comes after federal health officials recommend pausing the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo explains why county leaders believe this pause won't be a problem here in San Diego County.
County officials explained that Johnson & Johnson only makes up 2.9% of total vaccines administered here in our county. County supervisors explained that no appointments were canceled. Instead, those who were supposed to get the one-dose shot are now getting Moderna or Pfizer instead. As mentioned, starting tomorrow, everyone over the age of 16 is eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. The county is holding on to 11,000 Johnson & Johnson vaccines while the CDC and FDA review the rare blood clotting side effects found in 6 women who got the vaccine. The county says they know many will be frustrated when trying to get appointments, but said it's part of what happens when you increase eligibility while waiting for more vaccines.
We're waiting on more supplies and more vaccines and more people to finish their second dose, which will free up more first dose appointments. So please be patient.
County officials did say the appointment system for those eligible for the vaccine tomorrow is already open, and people should already be able to make an appointment if they are available. Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
From universities to K through 12 schools, Governor Gavin Newsom says he expects all California students to be back in the classroom for the start of the next school year.
So we talk about social emotional learning. That's foundational, and that's a principle in terms of our efforts to get our kids back into in-person instruction. There's simply no substitute for that enrichment that comes from being in school, being with trusted friends as well as extraordinary leaders.
Newsom did not go so far as to say he would mandate all schools to reopen. He said there could be extreme exceptions that would have to be accommodated.
For the first time since the early days of the pandemic, San Diego County's 14-day rolling average for positive cases is less than 2%. It fell below that threshold today as 260 new cases were reported. The county reported a strangely high number of deaths, 25, but noted that many were not recent, instead identified in a recent review of the numbers. You can track the latest coronavirus developments with the ABC 10 News app. You can find that for free in the App Store. The officer who shot and killed San Diego woman Ashley Babbitt during the Capitol riot in January will not face any charges. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala looks into the investigation by the Department of Justice that's now officially closed.
The investigation into the death of Ocean Beach woman Ashley Babbitt has come to an end. Babbitt was an Air Force veteran who was shot and killed during the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Wednesday, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia and the Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Justice announced there will be no criminal charges against the U.S. Capitol police officer who fatally shot Babbitt. Multiple agencies reviewed video evidence, physical evidence, statements by officers and witnesses, as well as the autopsy results. The investigation revealed that Babbitt joined a crowd of people on Capitol grounds to protest the results of the 2020 presidential election. The Department of Justice says the investigation further determined that Ms. Babbitt was among a mob of people that entered the Capitol building and gained access to a hallway outside Speaker's lobby, which leads to the chamber of the U.S. House of Representatives. Once the crowd started to break through the glass in the doors, they say Ms. Babbitt attempted to climb through one of the doors where glass was broken out. An officer inside the Speaker's lobby fired one round from his service pistol striking Miss Babbitt in the left shoulder. Babbitt was transported to a hospital where she died of her injuries. Based on the investigation, officials say there wasn't enough evidence to support a criminal prosecution. Friend of Babbitt, Charles Breckenridge, who served with her in the Air Force, told ABC News back in January that he was shocked watching the events unfold, but wanted people to remember Babbitt as he knew her.
Even if you consider it a mob, like mob mentality is a thing. No matter how good of a person you are, you can get hung up in it. So it's like, I just want people to know she was a cool person, and she was a really nice person, and she deserved better than that.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
After the shooting, the Capitol police officer was placed on administrative leave, and police powers were suspended pending the outcome of the investigation.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's lawyers continued trying to cast doubt on how George Floyd died today. A former medical examiner testified as to what he believes killed Floyd.
In my opinion, Mr. Floyd had a sudden cardiac arrhythmia due to his atherosclerotic and hypertensive heart disease, or you can write that down multiple different ways, during his restraint and subdual by the police, or restraint by the police.
He blamed everything but Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck for Floyd's death, including Floyd's slightly enlarged heart, his heart disease, and the drugs found in his system. Testimony is expected to wrap up this week. That means the jury could start deliberations early next week.
Former Assistant Sheriff Richard Miller took the stand today in the sexual harassment civil case against him. Miller was accused by 3 women of inappropriate conduct. He said before to these allegations he had never been accused of anything inappropriate. A supervisor for one of the women testified that she told him Miller grabbed her bottom in 2 separate incidents. A sheriff's lieutenant said an internal investigation found Miller's behavior was conduct unbecoming but not sexual harassment. Investigators are sharing new details into the 25-year-old disappearance of a Cal Poly student. Today, the San Luis Obispo County District Attorney said Kristen Smart was killed during an attempted rape. The DA also said there is evidence that there may be more victims. Paul Flores and his father Ruben were arrested yesterday. Paul is charged with first-degree murder. Ruben is charged with accessory after the fact. Smart's remains have never been found, and both men will be arraigned tomorrow.
A new ambulance company will soon be transporting San Diegans to the hospital. Our partners at KPBS report that city council members unanimously voted last night to partner with Falk as San Diego's new emergency medical services provider. Falk outbid the city's current provider, AMR, twice. City leaders said that while both companies offered similar proposals, Falk put forward an increased level of service.
Those additional staffing hours at just over 1,000 hours a day correlate to about 10 to 14 ambulances, depending on how you deploy those ambulances.
Some council members did question Falk's proposals, such as how it would pay for the increased EMS service. Falk says current AMR employees will be offered jobs. AMR is still under contract for 6 more months.
Border Patrol just released video of a suspected smuggler dropping a 2-year-old child over the border wall in Imperial Beach. Agents say the child was caught by their father. This happened over the weekend. Border Patrol agents approached the group on the U.S. side, taking the father and his child into custody. They say both are from Ghana. This is the latest video to show smugglers dropping children over the border wall in the past couple of months.
San Diego police need your help finding 2 burglars who say that they ripped off several local gas stations. Investigators say the burglars forced their way into a Circle K gas station on Tierra Santa Boulevard twice. Once in December, then again last month. Video shows them inside ransacking the shelves. Police say they stole $56,000 worth of cigarettes and lottery scratchers before taking off in a black Hyundai. Investigators believe they are responsible for 6 other burglaries as well. If you have any information, you're asked to call San Diego Police or Crime Stoppers.
A final send-off today for the Bonhomme Richard nearly a year after a fire erupted on the Warship and burned for days in the San Diego harbor. The vessel was officially decommissioned at Naval Base San Diego and will soon be towed to a scrapyard in Texas. Last August, ABC 10 News was the first to report the massive fire was being investigated as an arson, and the suspect is a U.S. Navy sailor. That is according to multiple sources with close ties to the NCIS. The Navy has not confirmed those details. A spokesperson said this weekend the cause of the fire is still under investigation.